Well, who would have thought? 2 weeks ago, the AJA's Executive Director Ted Lapkin wrote an opinion piece for the Australian Jewish News, in which he lambasted, correctly in my view, the Zionist Federation of Australia for its drift to the left by hosting a Zoom event with Israel's far-left merits politician Yair Golan. A man who, by the way, has on more than one occasion equated what happened in Nazi Europe with Israel's actions in modern-day times. Yes, it was a provocative article, but we are repeatedly told that, quote, complexity and diversity are the hallmarks of Jewish life in the diaspora these days. Not so diverse, it seems, because this week the troops were marshalled with a call to arms in blasting back at the Australian Jewish Association. That's okay. We dish out a fair bit of criticism and we can certainly take the pushback, but it's the hypocrisy that needs to be exposed here. The letters page contained a conga line of community leaders who were incensed that the AJA dared to say what, in our view, many in the community think. I point out for their edification that the AJA is the #1 communal organisation on Facebook, with more growth, likes and engagements this week than all of those other Jewish organisations. Now that's diversity for you. First up was our erstwhile federal Member of Parliament, Josh Burns from the Labor Party. He tried to criticise the AJA for wanting the ZFA to censor views from this Israeli politician. No, we're not. Yair Golan is free to say whatever he wants. We just didn't think that a far-left politician from a minuscule political party in Israel was a particularly wise choice for the ZFA to invite. Then it was Ron Weiser's turn. Ron is one of the more rational communal leaders going around, and although defending the ZFA as expected, he conceded that Golan wouldn't have been his choice for a session, let alone one on Erev Yom Ha'atzmaut. We get his very diplomatically made point. Shireen Hamber of Zionism Victoria waffled on about avoiding the terms left and right when discussing Zionism. This is the very organisation that in their Zoom series titled Talking About Israel included a session on, wait for it, Palestinian nationalism. She wants Zionism Victoria to reflect a variety of views, so I look forward to receiving an invitation to participate at one of their events in the next 100 years or so. Sam Zaltzman is a decent guy who was previously involved with the ZFA, but he harped on about the need to have a broad church, but not, it seems, one that includes the AJA. He was proud of the ZFA's association with the gay pride movement, but what that has to do with Zionism continues to baffle me. But the real charge of the Left Brigade was the op-ed response by Jeremy Liebler, current president of the Zionist Federation of Australia. His column of half a page was replete with facts taken out of context, all intended to paint the AJA as a wacky, irrelevant, extremist right-wing community organisation. Liebler made many of the same points as his army of communal leaders did, but went further to discredit the AJA with obscure references and partial information on previous incidents we have commented on, such as regarding One Nation. Now, many people don't like Pauline Hanson, and that's fine, but the fact remains that she is very supportive of Israel, and I would be much happier hearing her speak on this than, say, the Greens, whose support is non-existent. In fact, it's worse than that. They are loud and proud advocates for the Palestinian cause. Former Senator Fraser Anning had his 15 minutes in the limelight, and he started off by also being very supportive of Israel. But he blew it with his final solution comment, at which point the AJA cut ties with him. And all Canadian commentator Lauren Southern wanted to do was walk down a street with a camera crew in Lakemba in Sydney's western suburbs. She was stopped by the police because they were afraid of violence. Not by her supporters, mind you, but by the residents of that particular locality. The AJA made the point that she would have been much safer walking around Bondi or Caulfield, which is the simple truth. But as usual, the spinmeisters in our community managed to twist the story and take it where it should never have gone. In just 3 years, the Australian Jewish Association has garnered much support in our community, which has irritated all the left-leaning communal leaders, some of whom have made it their mission to discredit the AJA with smears and misrepresentations at every possible opportunity. But if you are one of our 14,000 followers on Facebook, I imagine that, like us, you couldn't care less. Indeed, also like us, perhaps you regard it as a badge of honour. This is Alan Freedman for the Australian Jewish Association.